Alright, what's poppin' YouTube? It's Mickie, coming back at ya with another video. Today, I have been focusing a little bit more on disc golf than bodybuilding here as of late. But don't you worry, because I am still very much self-conscious about my body and don't like the fact that I've gotten very skinny while playing disc golf. So I'm getting back in the gym. It's just don't quite have the same drive I normally have right now, but I know once I get back in the swing of things, everything will be back to normal. But yeah, definitely not happy about the weight that I've lost post-show, but that's okay. I felt like some of it was necessary so that I could loosen everything up and work on some disc golf form so that I could put some weight back on and not hurt myself. Though I probably could have just gotten more flexible while not losing the weight, but yeah, it's okay. But we're gonna bring you on in the bag today. So I see a lot of other disc golfers do this, so why not do this? Here, as of recently, I have just started switching to one brand. That way I can make it easier on myself because there is so many discs, so many plastics, and I feel like eventually if you throw a disc long enough, it's gonna feel mostly comfortable, or you could feel like you're at least good enough at throwing what it's supposed to do, and you're always gonna still like what you like. But there's just so much, so it's overwhelming. So I figured stick to one brand for the most part, give or take a few. So here as of late, I've been bringing a lot of my used discs in and trading them in at the sports store. So you'll be seeing a result of that. And yeah, a couple other stragglers that I just can't get rid of. Starting off, excuse me, with putters. This one, okay, so starting off with putters, this is the one that started it all and to why I'm switching to Streamline. And I've had this putter, I've had a couple other putters. This one just felt the best. It is in their premium cosmic neutron plastic, and here as of late I've come to realize that some people putt with premium plastic, some people don't. So before I picked up that one, I got the glow one at a little mini out at the disc golf course, and so I got this one and then another MVP disc you'll see later, and then I got two base plastic electron putters, one in the regular plastic and then one in the soft plastic. And yeah, I love them. Very glidey. They've got a small little bead, not too much. As you can see, I haven't even had these top two for too long, but they do break in fairly quickly, which I don't mind 100%, but this cosmic neutron I've had for a long time, and it is breaking in, but it still looks very nice. And then of course the glow plastic. This is really good plastic, but I saw one guy at the disc golf course. I like throwing putters, but I've never thought about throwing my Pilot for anything like really further than like maybe a far 100-foot like throw-in putt. And now that I've got this one compared to this one, or these two, I would be doing that with these two instead of these. These are mainly just putting putters. And so I saw somebody drive with it, and I'm like, I'm gonna drive with it, and nicked a little tree, but it's not that bad. Still very quality plastic. And MVP, because Streamline is a company from MVP, and their glow is just amazing. Stuff glows, and it glows for a minute. So this one's still a putter, but use it more as like an approach disc, sometimes up to like maybe 150 feet or whatever. just kind of laser it out there or bring it out right, just a little touch shot, because I know it's going to fade back in. I'm kind of digging this. I'm still new to it. It's similar to another approach this you're going to see me pull out, just a little bit taller, but I do feel like they're still pretty close. It is a 3-speed, so still not putter range, but definitely not putting with it. I'm using it more as touchy approach disc. And then what I'm kind of comparing it to, but I mean it's not really, is my Discraft Zones here. Got a regular Z plastic, then I Get Freaky. I'm still getting comfortable with this one. I really like this Z plastic, except when it's wet. It is the slickest thing ever when it's wet, so I do kind of want to pick up maybe like a Jawbreaker, an ESP. But also, if I get more comfortable with the stabilizer, who knows. But and then this Get Freaky, this is super flexible and bendy, and using this more for forehands, or if I just kind of want it to hold an angle a little bit more. This one, if I put it on angle, it tends to like to flip to flat and then ride it back out. So this one, if I'm doing like a little forehand out of the woods or a little something like this, I'm still getting the terminology. I know it's a backhand, but I feel like that's called something like a, but I feel like it works pretty good because it rides the line, but then towards the end, it'll kind of just fade out of it. And then pull out some mids. So I used to throw a truth a really long time ago, and then my buddy liked the way I threw it, and then I let him throw it, and then he liked it, and he liked the plastic that I had. He might have had a truth, but he didn't have that plastic. So it's like 2-something years ago now at this point. I gave it to him. He's back in town, and he gave me this one, which I really like. He dyed it himself. It did come out a little dark, to be fair, so it quite doesn't get as much throwing time as it should, but as a sentimental piece, him giving me a Frisbee back, it means something, so it stays in the bag. Plus, apparently after he left Austin, because him and his girlfriend were moving all over the country, he's been doing a lot of tournaments, and partially thanked me for a little bit of it. I don't know exactly what I did, but I'll take it, I guess. Bobcat, this one also doesn't get too much throwing time, but it's kind of a sentimental piece as well. A few months ago, maybe 6 months ago now at this point, maybe even longer, I got an online Discord buddy who lived in the area into disc golf and has taken it and ran with it, and yeah, gave me this as a gift. I do like it. It just, compared to my other mid-ranges, not particularly my favorite, but it still does make an appearance in some shots, and I am an idiot. All right, and then we got the Malta. I really, really like my Malta. This thing, I can throw it super straight. I can bring it out and know it'll come back in. It's nice and low profile. Super, it's not too light, but it is just, I'm a fan of the Malta. And that is what I was hoping my runways would be, but yeah, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, maybe, but the runway is just kind of a bit of a taller profile, and this is fairly flat on the top, and these kind of aren't necessarily not flat, but they aren't as flat. But that is also fairly broken in, so maybe once these beat in, they'll get a little bit similar. And I do have 2 of them, and even between the 2, this one, It's a lot more stable than this one. This one will kind of want to push a little bit further before it fades. This one, pretty reliable left fade on a right hand, backhand. And aren't they just gorgeous? Like, especially this one. Jesus Christ. I feel bad throwing them, but that's what they're for. And then, yeah. Last mid, I should have pulled it out, but this is an MVP Hex. So still technically the same company, but not. But this one's definitely gonna stay in the bag, just because I play a lot of glow golf with my buddies, and glow is really good, and I actually can throw this disc fairly far. I haven't been throwing it as much lately, so I don't know, the rim's kind of been feeling not bad, just different in my hand compared to normal, because I used to throw it quite a bit, and now that I'm testing out a lot of this new plastic, it definitely just has a very different rim kind of for a 5-speed, at least for me. And I like the nice thin rim. I can get up in there and I can grip, and I can do this, and it just feels good. It's a little floppy, so I feel like it can punish you if you don't get your line right. So, and I don't know if that's an aspect of the floppiness, or just I've heard some people say it with the gyro. It shows your mistakes more than if there was no gyro, but I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny. I just know I throw it really good sometimes, and then sometimes meh. Okay. Well, I forgot. I got one more putter. This one doesn't get thrown too much. It's just I volunteered at a park tournament. It was the birthday, and they're trying to do some downsizing to the disc golf for the park, so we were just trying to bring some attention to it. And it's a glow plastic, doesn't glow quite as crazy. It's Gateway, it's a little wizard. Not a bad putter, just not necessarily my style. Okay, this one, another MVP. I am a fan of it. It doesn't get thrown too often, but every time I do throw it, it does seem to work out fairly well for me. It's a nice little small diameter driver. I've heard people say they really like the fission plastic now that I've been doing a bit more research into it. Yeah, I didn't throw it from brand new, so I don't know how it was brand new, but it is a very light driver. It's only 160 grams. It's probably my lightest driver, so yeah, I can really rip it when I want to. Roadrunner. This one, I have a love-hate relationship. It is also just like 50-50 good with me when I get it on a good line, and then when I don't. And when I do, for a 9-speed, this thing goes flying very, very well. And it's a little domey, as you can see, but it's nice and beaten in. It's not very poppy. Very flexible. This one I've been liking a lot lately, and the Proton plastic is nice. It is just a little slicker when it's wet, but this thing's already nailed a couple trees, and it is fairly durable. And there's a 7-speed driver, and yeah, little aggressive lip. I can still hold it like this when I'm just doing a nice little touch shot, but been really working on my power grip there, trying to figure out how I even do it still. So it's a work in progress, but this thing, dead straight flyer, can get it on a nice little flexy thing. It's very nice. This one I just picked up, so haven't had too much throwing time with it yet, but from the little I have thrown it, it is a crazy disc. I might try and dye it hopefully before it gets too much play and I get it too dirty to dye or whatever. But yeah, you really need to, because it wants to go to the right. like fade hard. And if you rip it really, really hard and you don't put it on the right angle, it wants to dump and turn into a roller immediately. So you really want to give it enough of this. So it does this, and then it does this. Or let go to flat on a nice little touch shot, and then it'll just fade and come around. Because it does have a decent little bit of fade, but still working on it. I think I maybe had one good throw with it when I played with it the other day. So, more to come. This thing is a beef cake. And similar to that one, except it doesn't want to turn into a roller. It just wants to fade to the left super, super hard. So as long as you give it a little bit of this, then it'll do this, then it'll do this, or you throw it flat knowing it's going to come back that way. But I also have only thrown this good a couple times. Other times I maybe shouldn't have thrown it or just thrown it differently. I'm sure I will have an application for this, and maybe it'll beat in nice, but as you can tell, it's dirty because it's already a little chipped there on the side. Nothing horrible, but I'm gonna figure it out. But I mean, it is called the flare, possibly for a reason, because it does exactly what it does. So I just need to use it in the right places. But as a 9-speed driver, I just feel like I can grab it out of the bag and chunk it. But it is so overstable. This one is the lift, which I've gotten on a couple good lines, and then a couple other times is just me, but I feel like this is a really good flyer. I've just been having a hard time releasing it at the proper time, but nicked a couple trees already, but she still looks good. And as a glow driver, I still haven't played any night golf with it, but I am super pumped. But yeah, the lift, very low aggressive profile there. There's another fly. And then got my max distance driver, the Trace. I'm really a fan of this one. I got this in a 3-pack, like assortment pack on Amazon, a Streamline. So it came with one of the pilots, came with this, and it came with the purple runway. And I would not have picked this color personally because it is camouflage, which is lovely. But the plasma plastic, which only this comes in, is super nice, super durable. Can't even tell that I've hit any trees with it yet. I could literally run this underwater. You'd think it's brand new. And even with it being camo, at least it's got like really nice foily, like bright. I'm trying to catch the reflection, but it's not working. But it's not the hardest thing to see, and I've honestly put this thing on pretty much almost exactly where I've needed to every time, other than a couple like bad shots. But when they were bad early and not bad later in the flight once you know exactly what it's gonna do. So really like the Trace, and I've only got one more disc technically, and then I have all of Streamline's current assortment. So the Jet, which I may or may not have ordered one on Amazon last night because I was debating going to the used sports store again and trading in a couple of my other ones, but I feel like I gave them all a pretty good argument as to why they're in the bag, or at least in the bag sometimes, and why they're here. Like, so yeah, I don't know if I don't think I want to get rid of any for the time being, so I just bit the bullet. It was only $15. I didn't get the special edition one, which they have out now, which would have been pretty fancy, but I don't need it, and I wish they had next day delivery, but soonest it could be here is tomorrow. I know, first world disc golf problems, but so yeah, Streamline, if you're watching, or MVP, you want to sponsor me. I'm not a big disc golfer timer yet. Disc golfer timer. But just wait. Just wait. I'm gonna bring this community and the bodybuilding community and the fitness community. We're all one, and it's nice to delegate your expertise and your time to get specialized in different sports at a time. And I've been playing disc golf for, at this point now, like 10 years or something like that, since I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. It's the first time we ever played, just getting stoned and going out and playing at the park. But I've just now here recently started to take it seriously and want to work on my form so I don't hurt myself and so I can actually play at a moderately decent level, which I have had the capability of doing, but it was never consistent. I'd always hurt myself if I tried to throw a max distance, and like, it's not fun when you're playing like that. So trying to reintegrate it, trying to have more fun with it. I don't want to overcomplicate it with the disc, which is why I'm running Streamline, but it doesn't hurt that their discs are, one, affordable, two, their plastic feels really great, three, they're a growing company and I feel like I could grow with the company. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know if you like it. Let me know what you bagged down in the comments. And let me know if you got any Streamline discs, if you're a fan of theirs, if you're not. Let's have a little bit of debate. What your favorite disc is, what day of the week it is when you're watching this, if you're happy, if you're sad. Are you pooping? Are you watching? Are you pooping while you're watching, or are you eating breakfast? I'd almost like mix those three sentences all in one. But yeah, take it easy, y'all. I think that's gonna wrap up the video. I hopefully might do another one soon, who knows, but we're just gonna take it and we're gonna roll with it. I don't want to put any pressure on myself. I don't want to apologize for nothing. So I hope you enjoyed this little in the bag brought to you by Mickey's Workshop. I'm sure you might not have been expecting this, or maybe you have if you follow me on Instagram, if you've seen my last few posts in the last 2 months. But with that, ended off with the mini. Got this for like $5. I like to set up little cans around the apartment, play little mini golf. They make baskets, but out of my budget for right now. So yeah, thanks for watching.